Hello. With school starting back very quickly, I wanted to kind of share with you some of the things that I did for our open house and how my classroom was set up. And hopefully maybe you can use some of these things during your open house. So the first thing that I did, I set up my classroom into stations. And so the parent and the child came in and they visited each station. At station 1, they just simply signed in, and then they were given a first grade survival guide. And I found this on Teacher Paid Teacher, and it was wonderful, a lifesaver. And it has all the important information of how my classroom operates. They were also given just the general forms that they need to complete and make sure to return that with their child by the end of the week. Now, once they visited that station, then they went to station 2. And at station 2, they indicated if their child was a bus rider or a pickup or after school, how these children are getting home. And so they simply just put them on the correct list if they were pickups or a bus rider or after school. And this kind of gives me a little bit of a head start for our day tomorrow, because tomorrow is our first day of school. I was able to take their armbands and go ahead and put their name on there and what bus or pickup or after school. And when we get ready to dismiss school, all I do is just place this on the child. And this tells me very quickly, I could look and see who's on what bus, if they need to go to pickups or where they need to go. And I love these. Found these at Walmart. They're very cheap. I use these every year. And so they're really quick to do. And I'll be using those probably for the first week of school. So I give them a new band every day. When they get done with that, they head on over to station 3. And I always like to get to know my students, especially before the first week of school, because it helps me to plan my activities. So I let them complete a student inventory checklist. And it just asks them questions like, do you like to work with a partner? Do you like to work in a group? Do you like to work individually? Do you need a break in between activities? Some of the things that you like to do for a break. So that kind of gives me a little bit more information about the student that I have in my room and helps me plan for those first day activities. Now, when they complete that activity, they'll go to station 4. I like to post pictures and videos on social media, and so I always like to get the parent permission, and I specify in here Facebook, Instagram, Class Dojo, wherever I'm going to use my students' pictures or videos. And even though our our school has a policy of having parents sign that at the beginning of the school year, so there's one inside the folder, I like to be a little bit more specific. So I put exactly where I would have those students' pictures posted. And that way I know right off the bat the students that can and cannot be in those videos or pictures. Once they complete that, then they're going to go to station 5, and that's where they get to meet me. And I kind of talk to the parents about Class Dojo, and I go ahead and let them sign up so that we make sure that we don't have any issues and they're linked in. And I love to use Class Dojo. I've used it for probably about 5 or 6 years. And I'm so eager to get to use it this year with the portfolio feature that it has. And so I always like to get my parents connected as soon as possible on there, and this is a great homeschool connection. Then I always try to do some type of parent meeting where the parents could come without their students or without their children, and I do a parent meeting and networking night. And so the parents are invited to come back one evening, and they get to network with all the other parents that are in the classroom. And we also kind of go over the procedures and expectations and how the room is carried, how my class is carried out throughout the day, any specials that we have, special dates that we have coming up. I try to cover all of that during that parent meeting. And that gives them time to kind of talk to me without their child being right beside of them. And the very last thing that I do is I always give a certificate, and it says welcome to our classroom, and that there's a special seat for that child in my classroom. And I gave them this year for a snack a bag of fish crackers, and it said, "You are officially in first grade," and just kind of did one-on-one and talked to them a little bit and tried to help smooth over first day jitters. I also talked to the parents about school supplies, and by this time many of the parents have already bought the school supplies that are needed, because we put out a supply list early in the summer to give parents an opportunity to do that. But I kind of just show them an example of what they may need in the classroom and just remind them to place those things in their child's backpack. So this is just some of the things I did for our open house, and it gave me an opportunity to talk one-on-one with parents and to talk one-on-one with the students. And I hope that maybe there's something that I showed you that you can use during your open house.